Welcome, Life FM. It's time for Impulses with me, Bennie. And of course, Sandro. And if you guys are listening with us today from Klerksdorp, Orkney, Stilfontein and Hartbeesfontein, you're listening on 100.6 FM. If you're listening for Potchefstroom, welcome. You are listening right there on FM on 98.1. And of course, you can download the Life FM app on your choice of app store, either on the Android or the Apple phone. And of course, then you can listen to Life FM anywhere, any place. My friend?
Mr. Bennie, how you doing? How you guys doing on the other side of the radio waves? I hope you guys are having a good day. We got an awesome topic. Cannot wait to get started with this. And Mr. Bennie, what do you have to say?
Yeah, I think it's going to go well. Something interesting, my friend. Will you introduce our listeners to the theme of the day?
It is passion. What is your passion, especially passion for Christ? And that is what we're going to explore. That is what we're going to take on. We got an awesome discussion coming up. We've definitely got some amazing verses to go with it. And I cannot wait to get started on this.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting subject, looking at the people today, a lot of believers, there's kind of a lack of passion out there. There's a lot of people say that believe in Jesus Christ, they have this love for Jesus Christ, but yet somewhere along the line, they kind of lost that passion. You don't really see it in their lives. You don't really see it in their daily living. So yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting conversation.
I cannot wait for it, guys. Tune in after the break. We're going to carry on with this discussion, and this might be a discussion that wakes up your passion again, especially for Jesus Christ.
Yes, we're just going to take a break for a few minutes, and when we're back, it's all about your passion for Christ.
Welcome back to Life FM, guys. You're listening to Bennie and you're listening to Sandro. That's myself. And guys, we are going to talk about passion, especially your passion for Jesus Christ. I think it's something that we've spoken about a lot. I got a bit of a test in me because of my friend Bennie. He's going to look at me funny now, but it was not really an argument, but he took me on the one day, and you know what? It kind of made me realize, what passion do we have for Christ? And this was quite a while ago. This was actually like 2 years ago. And he is kind of looking at me funny now. My friend, passion for Christ. Talk to me there.
Yeah, my friend, as I said in the intro, I think, there's a lot of people out there that say they believe in Jesus Christ. That's an easy theme we use. It's easy. It's something we think it's something we just say because we can say it. But to really show that we have a passion for Jesus Christ comes out of the way we live, the way we talk, and the way we handle other people, the way we handle our ministry, even the normal daily life, the place where you shop or the people you interact with. So, yeah, the big question is, I think, if you meet someone, can you tell me, that they have a passion for Christ?
Yes. And I think that's something you got to tune into more, because it's obviously what you do with it. What more are you doing? I mean, we will notice, I'm starting to notice, the smaller things, what people say, how they talk, how they conduct themselves, their tone of voice, especially to their families. And that becomes a big thing when you start noticing small little things. And then I don't always get it right. But one thing that I do notice is that, you pick up a lot quicker that these people live out biblical principles. They've got this love for Christ, which a lot of times when I got saved, I was like, but how do you tell if someone's got a love for Christ? And we start picking up in the small things, how they treat others, what do they say about others? And this is obviously someone who knows the word and starts living that out. And I've just got a verse here that I think is very, very suited to actually start off with. It's Matthew 6 verse 21. For where your treasure is, there your heart will also be. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, my friend, look, if you say where your treasure is, there your heart will also be. That's not as easy to understand as we think it is, because you always have to go back to the measurement of how you understand Christianity, the measurement of how you understand the Bible and your relationship with God. And, if you tell me that where my treasure is, there my heart is, then I'm going to question myself, but, my daily life, It actually testifies about, I'm only trying to survive. I'm only I'm doing the same things over and over. I have this routine. I go to work, I come home, or I go to school, I come back. You have this thing. So it's a very difficult thing to say that where your heart is, because this is something we have to learn when we study the Bible, that, if you have a relationship with God, if you have a relationship with Jesus Christ, then it's all about expressing that relationship through what you desire. And I think that's the big thing. If what you desire can testify, on your relationship with God or with Jesus Christ rather than the things of the world, then I think we can get more in line with this statement in Matthew.
No, that's very true. You know what? It's coming down to, first of all, getting stuck into the Word. Because, we all want to live out biblical principles, but where do we find the biblical principles? In the Word of God. You know what? You start realizing is, where's your treasure? Do you regularly involve yourself in, I'm going to say, Christian activities? In activities that are going to build you up in spirit, fellowship. You know what? I know not everyone enjoys a cell group, and I'm fine with that, but then are you going to church? If you're not going to church, what are you doing besides the normal day-to-day things where we start living out our passion for Christ? You know what? We are all called to serve. I mean, Jesus came to serve. The Gospels tell us clearly that he came to serve us. And yet, if he is the master and we are his disciples, the disciple is a follower of the master. And you know what? Are we doing just the basics right? The small things right? Are we serving? And that's where we start seeing, or is it just about me, myself, and I? And I think this is one of the areas of the world, or the world we live in, that we start seeing it's about people must serve me. It's about me, myself, and I. You know what? This entitlement mentality. It's all about me. I don't care what happens to the others. They can all struggle and suffer as long as I am fine. And we are not meant to live like that. I'm not saying go give everything and just throw your life away. I mean, we have to look after ourselves at the same time. But there is so many different ways to serve. And the one thing you said, Nana, is we carry on with our day-to-day life. And we just make it a habit of waking up, going to work, coming home, maybe watching a bit of TV or listening to a bit of radio. And then from there, we go sleep. And we do the same thing over and over again. And we don't have something to look forward to. What are we looking forward to? Is there anything to look forward to? Or we just get stuck in this mundane routine that we just keep on kind of following because that's what we kind of know is as normal. What would you change if you think about that?
My friend, to be honest, listening to what you just said, it immediately makes me think of the great commandment that Jesus gave us in Matthew. He said that we should love the Lord our God with everything we have, with our whole being. But then we have the same commandment with loving other people. There's no difference. If you love God, you gotta love other people. You gotta love your brothers. You gotta love your sisters. You gotta love the rest of the world. And if we have this amazing relationship with Jesus Christ and we have this passion, then that passion has gotta come through from what we experience with our relationship with Jesus. And that same passion needs to flow over with our relationship with other people.
No, that is very true. And you also notice what the greatest commandment is, love your neighbor as you love yourself. It must start with you. And this is where the passion comes in. What do you love? Where is your heart? Because where your heart is where you're going to start finding your passion, especially when it comes, what's your passion for Christ? Some people love serving in the church. Other people love being on the pulpit. Other people prefer being behind the scenes. I mean, I know of a lady in Clarkstop, a wonderful lady, Jackie, where she started a couple of years ago just on her own. She started collecting toys, and she bought a couple of toys out of her own pocket, and she started asking for donations around. And you know what? She started handing the stuff out to underprivileged children because her heart is with underprivileged children. And over the years, last year she got involved with one of the big churches in Clarkstop. And you know what? There were so many organizations and companies that joined her that I think they got toys and blankets and clothes for about, I think, 500 kids. I'm not sure. I'll have to make sure on that. But it started where I think the first year she served like 15 or 20 kids. And over the years, well, she normally does this at Christmas time, that her passion has just grown and grown, but she's never stopped that. And that's where her passion is, because she just followed on where a lot of us just, no, but I'd rather sit at home and do nothing.
You know, what's interesting about something like this, you know, if you experience the passion that somebody else basically express by doing things like this, you know, like this testimony, you know, that you just spoken about from Jackie, you know, if you really find someone that's doing something that I love out of passion, it makes a big difference. You know, I think, you know, it immediately makes me remember the great command of Matthew 28. I know that's one of your favorite scriptures, of course, Matthew 28 verse 19. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and of the Son of the Holy Spirit. When last did you see somebody with a passion to go out and make disciples? You know, that's the big question, because it's everything that's related to your relationship with Jesus Christ. You know, it needs to be transferred into the same thing, having a passion for people out there that's basically contagious, you know, to affect the people around you so they can get involved with what you are doing.
Yes, no, there I agree with you. My friend, we're going to be taking a short break now. All your listeners, we're going to be taking a short break. And after the break, we are going to come back and we're going to continue with this wonderful discussion.
Welcome back, guys. You're listening to Life FM. And of course, you're listening to our brand new program, Impulses, with me, Bennie. And of course, my very good friend, Sandro. Now, today we're speaking on your passion for Jesus Christ. You know, if we have this passion, and we say we really have this passion, how do we express that passion in the world out there? And I think there's a need for Christians, for, you know, a great need for Christians to go out and express what they experience with their relationship with Jesus Christ.
You know, before the break, we spoke about a bit of passion and we had a testimony there. But one thing we got to first realize, how do we make it practical? Okay, I got this thing of, what do I like doing personally? What do I like doing? Okay, from there, let's take it further. I enjoy working with the youth. So, you know what, I've been blessed with opportunities to work with the youth. So I've taken that and, you know, I start living that out. And that's after work. You know, I work I've got a full-time job. So do you, Bennie. You know, it's not, we don't do this. We are not in ministry full-time, as they would say. So we work a full day. And I mean, I know you also work weekends. I work weekends. And this is what we do afterwards. But it's this passion that keeps me going. You know, this thing of, I find something that I enjoy doing and then I go serve there. Not everyone will enjoy working with you. Some people have got other passions. I know some people like cooking. So find something that you really like and enjoy. And then this is, I think, the breaker that comes in is Colossians 3 verse 23. And this is the verse that kind of says how you should do it. Because once you apply this principle to your passion, you know what? You can spend an hour a week or 2 hours a week on it. And you'll see the massive difference it makes in other people's lives. And it says there, whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord and not for human masters. And that, I think, is one of the biggest secrets. Whatever you do after your work time, even when it comes to your work, do it with all your heart. And you'll see a change in first of all, in your life. You'll start seeing a change in everyone around you. Mr. Bennie, what do you say?
Yeah, my friend, listening just what you said a few minutes ago, you know, this is what we do part-time. And it actually made me think, you know, if we do this part-time, the question is, why do we do this? And, you know, you gave a few other examples of other people having different passions, doing different things. But the reason why we do this, I think it really starts to be, it becomes more than just passion, it becomes a way of life. Because, once you finish the things you have to do, not the things you want to do. And I think that's the difference. This is what we want to do, and there's other things we have to do. So once we finish the things that we have to do, this is the things that we want to do. And once we get the opportunity to do this, then you can actually feel that passion. You can see that passion. And maybe there's other people that are doing the same thing. Like you said, maybe there's a few chefs out there. There's a few people that are doing something, a lot, way different than what we are doing. But I think when it comes to Christianity, it becomes a way of life. This is not something we do just because it's passion. It's something we do because this is who we are.
You see, but it started off there. It started off with, okay, what do I like doing? Where can I serve? And now it's become a way of life. And the amazing thing is, like, I really enjoy cell groups. If we don't have a cell group on our Wednesday night like we normally do, it feels like something is missing. I don't know about you, when with your group, and I know on Sunday evenings you have a Bible school or a word study school. I want to say it in Afrikaans, but a word school.
Look.
But no, but you understand, is when you don't do it, or when you miss one session, you kind of feel a bit empty, and then you're wondering, but why? Because this is what we want to do. This is the thing that kind of drives us. And the amazing thing about that is, once, regardless of how tired I am after a work day, once I finish with the cell group or the youth group, I come home and I feel so energetic and energized. You know what? It feels like I've got purpose again. It feels, it's one of those things. I know that this is what Christ has called me to do. It might not be in a full-time ministry, but we can make a difference. Like I say, just living out what you love. And I think if we all start applying that in the Christian world, how different would the world be, instead of just continuing and maybe just going to church once a week and then just carrying with our life and saying we are children of God?
Yeah, but don't you think that's why there's a lot of people out there that's got this lackluster feeling, because everything they do is because they have to do it. It's not something they're doing out of passion. And passion is something when you find something that you love to do. And then you find that, that extra energy that's actually driving you to do it, to find time, to make time. And I think that's the difference. If you, I'm thinking about myself, yesterday when I came back from work, I was so tired, and I had this excuse, sorry, I can't do this right now. I was so tired. And now that we're speaking about passion, I can really say, if it's something that we want to do, even passion can override that tiredness that we tend to use as an excuse to find ways not to do something.
That's very true, because this is, I think, where we're going back to the first verse we used with Matthew, where your heart is, where your treasure will be, or where your treasure is, where your heart will be. You know what? If something is important to you, you will always make time. And I think just a basic example, especially once you start dating, you know what, that you will drop everything else just to see that person that you want to be with, that person you want to spend time with. Now, I think with us, it became the thing of, we want to be there. I want to be at the cell group. I want to be at the youth group. And, after work, I will go do that. And sometimes you're so tired, but you override the tiredness. And it becomes such a joy after, because you realize, you know what, now I'm starting to find my purpose. I'm starting to find my passion. And one of the things we said in the intro, where Bennie took me on, this was probably about 2 years ago, we were busy speaking about we wanted to do something more. And what more can we do? And he was taking me on, and I just got irritated. And we got a Facebook page, Practical Faith, and I just kind of lost it with him. And I just made this clip, basically. And from there, I actually went to go think about it. And I've got a thing that I do, Prayer Fridays. And Prayer Friday was actually birthed from that conversation, while actually Bennie irritating and pressing my wrong buttons. But you know what? It showed that the passion we have, because the nice thing is we will press each other's buttons. And at times we will irritate each other. But then we start seeing the passion coming out, because it's all about the kingdom. It's all about Christ advancing the kingdom. Are we making disciples? Are we teaching them? Are we helping them right? Are we building them up? And that's one of the keys for us on why we do what we do.
I'd rather call it a little bit of encouragement with a little bit of force. So
Is that what we call it these days?
It's pushing somebody. Yes, that's what we call it. It's pushing somebody, to do something that they need to do, or doing the things that they actually love to do. But sometimes, life just doesn't allow us to do that, and we need friends, we need people around us that actually help us just to push us over that edge, so that we can live and find and express that passion that we know we have.
Sorry, one thing, you're speaking about friends. One thing is getting like-minded friends to pursue your passion. Because if you've got people who are not like-minded or pursue the same interest and passion as you do, you will not exactly pursue it wholeheartedly. You might do it, or you might just even give up. So again, it comes down to who's in your circle that's building you up and got this, wanting to go the same direction as you are. And you'll start seeing how all of a sudden you'll start living your passion out more, because it's not about wanting to impress. It's about doing the best that you can with what you have.
Okay, guys, thank you for listening today. This was our program Impulses. I really hope you enjoyed it. And my friend, last words, encouraging the listeners to find their passion and living out that passion.
My friends, go out there, find something that you love doing, and just apply it with kingdom principles, and do it with all your heart and for the glory of the kingdom of Christ. And you'll start seeing the difference you make in other people's lives.
Okay, guys, blessings, and stay tuned to Live FM.